Hey, what's up? It's Jared with State of Tech, and I've got the Pixel Buds here with the Pixel 2 XL and my trusty little sound meter that I got off of Amazon. And we're going to talk about the Pixel Buds. And there's been people reviewing them, and some people like them, some people dislike them. I have my own opinion, so I thought I would share that with you. And I also did a comparison video between the Pixel Buds and the AirPods from Apple, simply just to see which headphones are the best, because a lot of people are comparing the iPhone to the iPhone X or the iPhone 10 to the Pixel 2 XL or the regular Pixel 2. So I thought, why not compare them? So if you are interested in that, check out the link in the description below. But we're going to talk about the Pixel Buds and my thoughts about them. Now, I was super excited when they announced these Pixel Buds and I started reading into them. The features sounded really cool. The design was reminiscent to the little earbud that I got for my Google Glass. When I had Google Glass, there was a little earbud that would plug in and you could put it in your ear, so that way you could actually listen to music, because it did have the bone conductive thing that was good for like listening to notifications and feedback and stuff, but it wasn't a very good music experience. So you can get that little ear pod or whatever, little headphone. And so this was very reminiscent. So I might have had even a little nostalgia for Google Glass there when I first saw these. I was also super interested in the fact that you can do gestures on them to manipulate the phone, and that it had Google Assistant activation built in. The live translation thing was definitely something that I thought was cool, but I don't necessarily know how often I would use that, considering I don't really travel internationally a lot, and I've used Google Translate on my phone a handful of times in my entire life, so I don't know. It's cool, but it's more just fun to play with. My wife and I actually had fun kind of, using what limited words we knew in other languages to watch it translate those, and that was a really cool experience. So what I got was this cool little case. I love the way it feels. It's actually pretty rigid case. It's got a battery built into it. You could charge that with a USB Type-C cable. So same thing that you use to charge your Pixel 2 phone or any other modern Android phone. So the battery built into this case actually charges your Pixel Buds, and that's a cool feature. You open up the case here, and I like the inside of the case too. It feels really nice. The cord here unravels, and then you just pop out your Pixel Buds like that. The Pixel Buds just snap right back in very easily, and then they start to charge. You get a notification here showing that they are, in fact, completed charging. And then also you can get a notification to see how much battery life you have left. And it shows that every time that you pretty much tap your Pixel Buds, or even open and close the case, I think. So it shows I've got 2 out of 3 on the battery life. So pretty cool. I do really like the little case that they come in. So one of the things that was an issue even when I had my Google Glass little earphones is this design here. Now, I don't know if it's just my ears or just this design in general, but this part, of course, goes into your ear just like any other in-ear earbud. And this little loop here actually tucks right into like the crook of your ear to kind of hold them in place. Now, that's different than most other headphones that either have, some sort of a thing that comes out and goes over your ear, or maybe they're just designed with some sort of little nib on the end that fits into your ear, and sometimes they come with different size ones for people with different size ear holes. But this here is just a different approach. So you slide this in and out to actually adjust it based on how far away the Pixel Buds are from the crook of your ear. And then you put the little rope behind you like this and tuck them in like so, and they're ready to go. So what's cool is immediately when you put them into your ears, they they connect. So automatically, as long as they have a charge, they're going to automatically connect. When you set them up for the very first time, you're going to need to, go in and pair them. The pairing process is super easy and pretty automated, so it's not even going to be as challenging as, other Bluetooth headphones where you have to go in and do it all manually. It's actually a pretty simple process. Not as simple as the Apple AirPods, but still pretty simple nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and choose some music. I'm going to try and choose something loud because I want to see how loud these are going to get. And we'll talk about the audio quality, and I'll just try a couple of different genres of music here while we're here together. So I'm going to go ahead and tap a song, and I'm going to turn up the volume nice and loud. Now, one thing that I noticed about these is that the audio quality is really good. It's a little deeper. The highs are not as crystal clear as some other. A lot of times with small headphones, Bluetooth headphones like this, you get really it's like elevator, listening to music in the elevator. It's all highs and no mids and lows. With these, you're getting good deep lows and some good mids, and the highs are there. They're just not as crystal as other small headphones like this. But it is really good audio quality and surprisingly good loudness and clarity for a small headphone of this size. Usually they're just not that good. And I had a pair of Power Beats by Dre that were not as deep and as clear as this. The Power Beats had good bass and whatnot, but it always sounded real muddy. These do sound really clear. They're just not the clearest, most crystal clear music that I've heard out of them. Granted, I'm streaming music from Spotify on the highest setting, which typically does produce pretty good quality music, but I am streaming music. So maybe that would change a little bit because obviously, the way frequencies are cut in streamed music, maybe there's a difference there. I'm not getting that scientific about it. I just want to let everybody know that there's always room for error in tests like these. So I'm going to measure two things. I want to measure the amount of ambient noise in the room, so we have a baseline. I want to measure the sound that we can hear off of these headphones from about 12 to 14 inches away from my head. Because something that's important to me is being able to listen to music loud without annoying the people around me. I have consideration, unlike people who don't really care who's around them, and they're gonna hear what they're hearing. For me, I want to listen to music. I don't want to pester everybody else. And sometimes I like to listen to, some really heavy metal or something like that. And I know not everybody likes that, so I'm not trying to ruin everybody's day with my loud screaming music. And then we're going to do our best to try and get an audio decibel level for loudness off of the actual headphone. But one of the challenges is that, when you take them out of your ears, the music stops. And so it's kind of hard to measure that. So let's go ahead and hit play. Let's actually get a baseline first. So let's be quiet. All right, so we're at 46 decibels. That's the baseline in here. Let's go ahead and see what kind of noise pollution we get. $49.2, so that's barely noticeable, and I don't even know when I started playing that if you're actually able to hear that in the microphone. We'll find that out when we edit this video, but that's not much of a difference. 46 decibels, ambient noise, of 12 inches away from my head, we're only getting a couple more decibels of noise. That is fantastic as far as noise pollution. That means listening to the music as loud as you want without pestering everybody around you. Let's try and see if we can get a reading off of one of the Pixel Buds. Nope, the song got quiet. There we go. 68 that time. Let's make sure I'm getting this in the right direction. Yep, 68. This song's a little bit quieter than the last time that I tested this. I've averaged like 68 to 71, 72 decibels, measuring really close. So that's pretty loud. I wouldn't honestly say you want to listen to music too much louder than that. because you could damage your ears. But as I said, the audio quality is really good. So now that we've talked about the audio quality, and to be honest, like that's the audio quality is my opinion. Really, the only way that you're going to know for sure is if you try them for yourself. And unfortunately, small headphones like this are something you can't just go try down at your local wherever, because that would be gross. So you have to buy them to really try them. But my job here, I think, is to just try to give you as much info as possible. Every now and then the device will tell me how much charge my Pixel Buds have. It just pops up on the screen. It's pretty cool. Let's talk about some of the features that the Pixel Buds have. So when I tap and hold down on the Pixel Buds, it activates Google Assistant. I can give Google Assistant any questions or do anything that I normally would do on my Pixel 2 when I squeeze the phone or I activate it saying the phrase that activates Google Assistant. That's cool because I can do this completely hands-free with my phone in my pocket. Just simply tap and hold and ask a question. What's the weather today? All right. So it's giving me the weather. So that's great. It's very easy, very quick. I like the fact that you tap and hold and let off when you're done. There's no wasted time of waiting around for it to decide whether or not you're done talking. You just let off and then it starts thinking. So it's pretty instantaneous. Now I can do things as well like start and stop music using Google Assistant. I can open music in different music apps, which is great because on Android we all use different music apps like Spotify, Google Play Music, Pandora, and so I can actually have songs start. It's basically anything that you can do with your Google Home, you can pretty much do in your phone. I could even have it initiate a phone call or a text message to somebody. I can have it open an app. I can have it navigate home. That's one of the cool things is actually just, I set my phone down, don't even have to have the screen on it, tap and hold and say navigate home, and it opens up Google Maps and it starts navigating me home. It's pretty fantastic. So beyond that, there are also gestures. When I'm playing music, I can swipe forward to get to the next track. I could swipe backwards to get to the previous track. And that just doesn't work in every single app, but it works in most of the music apps that I've tried. And then you can also swipe up and down to actually increase or decrease the volume, which is cool because with most other headphones, you have to do that from either some sort of a little button thing, if it's a wired headphone set, or you have to do it from the phone itself. So being able to swipe up and down to increase, decrease volume is fantastic. So overall, I really like the Pixel Buds. I mean, my downfall is this loop and the way that they're held into my ears. For me, they don't stay in my ears very securely, even no matter what I try and do. And I shouldn't have to fiddle around with them for, 3 or 4 minutes to get them to stay in there nicely. They should just go into my ears and fit well. I also don't like the strap behind my neck. Now, if you haven't noticed, I have a little bit bigger of a neck than normal, and they get caught on the edge of my neck. And if I'm wearing a shirt like this, they get caught in between the shirt and my neck, and then it yanks one of them out of my ear. And so the experience here with the cable is just not... It's just not good, and it makes me not want to use them too often. The other thing that's challenging is if you want to just have one in your ear, the other one has to be looped over your shoulder. And then what I tend to do is I'll just loop them down like this, and then I'll forget they're there, and I'll find them on the floor because I forgot that they were here. And maybe that's just a me getting old thing, but I just... With other headphones that don't have this cable thing and they're completely separate, I take one off, I put it back in the case, I take the other one off, I put it back in the case. This makes me walk around like this. My case is in another room, and it's just, I don't know, it's I don't know. It's just a user experience thing. Might not bother you, but for me it does kind of annoy me. These are perfect device. This is a perfect device here, other than the fact that this cable thing just kind of doesn't work for me. And of course, them staying in my ears that well. So that kind of becomes a big problem. Everything else about them is fantastic. I wish that there was an alternative, but right now this is what's offered. So, it's going to come down to really personal preference. If you have If you have a Pixel 2, these are going to be the most functional on your Pixel 2. However, they will work with any Android phone that has Bluetooth connectivity, and they will also work with an iPhone as well, which is kind of cool. So if you have a different device, you're wanting to try them, by all means try them. But they are kind of expensive at currently $159. So you have to really consider, is it worth the cost when there are cheaper alternatives? Sure, they won't maybe necessarily have all the features, but there are cheaper alternatives. And lastly, just one more note on the Live Translate. It is super cool. You activate the Live Translate by tapping and holding to activate Google Assistant, and you say, help me speak, and then whatever that language is. You have to have the Google Translate app downloaded on your device, and you have to have that language downloaded. So there's a little bit of footwork you have to do there. But once you have the app downloaded and the language downloaded into the app, then just simply tap and hold, say, help me speak, whatever, Spanish, Vietnamese, whatever language it is that you want, and it's going to do it. My wife and I tried some Spanish, we tried some French, and it was just fun. It was fun. So if you do end up with one of these, even though it's might not be a feature that you use too much, it's fun to have it's fun to play around with friends using it and watch it translate stuff back. We got some good laughs just screwing around. Telling jokes to it and stuff like that. So anyways, that's going to do it for my review. I've got links in the description below to where you could pick these up, as well as some links to the Google Pixel. Maybe you're still thinking about one of these phones or a case for it. I've just got a couple of links for you there. If you want to see the comparison video between these and the AirPods, just because why not? Apple versus Google, Android, check out the link in the description below for that. Click on that subscribe button if you want to be notified when we come out with more videos like our Pixel 2 XL review. And we're also going to do a review of the Google Home Mini and a few other products. So clicking the subscribe button will make sure that you get notified when those come out. Thanks so much for being here today, and we hope to see you back here soon.